Ron and Lynette know exactly where we're moving.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
they're like, that's a great neighborhood. I'm like, that's great. We didn't even like check it out. So I'm glad.
Oh, okay.
Like we checked out the house, but we didn't drive around the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So we just were like, this feels right. We prayed about it. And it felt right.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, go ahead. Put the mic a little bit closer to your mouth.
That better?
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay.
What you do, what you're passionate about, maybe.
Okay, well, I feel like I'm a hobbyist, but my main thing is cakes. So, and my name is Amanda, and I own Amanda's Cakery.
How do you pronounce your last name?
It is Gutheil, but that is a debate.
Oh, okay.
That is a debate because my Amish family says it's Gutheil. So it just depends
You're
on...
Amish?
I do have Amish family.
Oh,
yes.
okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was going back and forth. I was thinking, is it Gutheil? Gutheil?
So
You
my
know,
husband's
like a
family pronounces it Gutheil. My
Gutheil.
family, that's a Swiss Deutsch, they pronounce it Gutheil.
Okay.
So it's tomato. Depends on the language.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true. What got you into baking? What started that process? She did bring samples, and we're going to get into those eventually. At least
nice
I
and
will. She said
fresh.
she's not gonna take a bite. She's not gonna eat her own product on film. So
I can, but I just eat it all the time.
this is true. I get it.
So what got me into baking, it goes back far. Whenever I was in school. So I've always been into art and stuff. And I
Okay.
actually fell in love with 3D dimension when I was doing sculpting and clay work
Okay.
and woodwork and stuff in high school. And I thrived in it. I won a few competitions with it because it was
Okay.
just fun. It was therapeutic. But whenever you graduate, it's very expensive to do it on your own when you don't have everything.
Yeah, this is
So
true.
I went into cosmetology school, anything with my hands, any art with my hands. But it really started whenever I had my first daughter and I could not afford anything.
Okay.
So I was like, everybody loves cake at, the birthday events. It's like everybody's there for the cake. Let's
Yeah.
be real. Let's be real.
It's all about
Yes.
the cake.
And I remember one time I went to my friend's Sweet 16 and they had the bougiest cake and I just wanted to eat it. I didn't
Okay.
really care about anything else. I was like, it's so pretty. I want to eat it. So I don't even remember how it tasted. I just remember, wow, I'm eating like artwork. It was
Yeah.
so fun. So that's kind of how it started. I couldn't give her anything. And I was like, I'm going to knock this out of the park with a cake. I've got some artistic side and I've got a very sensitive palate, which can be a blessing and a curse because I have texture issues and
Okay.
but I just piece together flavors that I feel go well together. And
Do you think having a sensitive palate could also kind of benefit?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
then if the flavor is not going to be too extreme or too wildly out there.
I think you have to have a sensitive palate to work in the food industry if you're
Okay.
going to create stuff. I think I've noticed I shouldn't say this, but I actually don't like cake.
Oh my gosh. Where are we going with this?
But I like my cake.
Okay.
So it's unless it's a nostalgic one, I will some days just crave my childhood birthday cakes with the whipped icing. So that's the only one that randomly I'll crave it more for a sentimental thing.
Okay.
But for the most part, I don't really like buttercream. It's too sweet for me.
Okay.
I prefer stuff that has it gives you multiple flavor depths and it gives you
Okay.
it's just not generic, I guess.
Do you think you bake on a more hearty vibe?
No, I give what the customer they want. I just
Okay.
make sure it's good.
Okay.
So even though it is sweet to me, I'm I would still eat that. I will
Okay.
never. I thrive myself on a product that looks and tastes good.
Okay.
And if you look at my reviews, that's something that is just really talked about. Is
Yeah.
it doesn't just look good; it tastes good. I don't freeze my stuff. I make it all fresh.
All fresh.
That's why I only take 1 or 2 orders a week,
Okay.
so I can give it basically all my attention.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's why I didn't really bring you anything with buttercream.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited.
But yeah, I think I gave you a little something springish and something hearty, I guess,
Okay.
delicious and
So when I say hearty, obviously you can go into so many flavors and
Yes.
textures, but for me hearty is kind of it's more thick.
Yes, I do like more of a dense texture.
Okay.
But I can make light and airy as well.
Yeah.
But personally, the ones that I think is the best is like my dense cakes. I actually don't use butter in my cakes because I don't like the way it makes my cakes.
Okay.
So I use a different fat content, and I can't give away my secret on
All right,
that.
that's fine. We won't be
But there is no
shouting out
butter
any
in
top
my
secret.
cakes.
Okay. I'm sure that, I mean, if you have a replacement of butter, do people really tell? Like, is that something you promote? Like, hey, there's no butter in this.
Nope, I don't promote that. I think it just makes my cake stand out a little different, and they don't know why, but they're like, that was pretty good.
Okay, cool. I like it. That's cool. So I was stalking you on TikTok.
Oh, I have not been on that in so long.
Dear Lord, the girl is famous on TikTok. I was scrolling through because I was like, all right, because I'm always curious, like, what's their most popular video?
Yeah.
It was a 3-tier diamond rock-looking cake, nearly like
I
a
don't know why.
million views.
It was the ugliest thing I feel I did.
I mean, the cake was gorgeous.
I
was like, I don't want to eat this. I want to frame it.
Oh.
But watching the process of everything, I was like, that is so stinking cool.
Yeah, I started to film whenever I started to get a lot of complaints about price.
Okay.
And I was trying to really explain that this is an artistry.
Yeah.
And it's not just a cookie cutter of the meal thing. I make what you envision, and I put a lot of hours into it.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of pride into it, and I try to make it look pretty and taste good.
Yeah.
So I started to do the filming, which I'm very bad at. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, it's gotten you like 26,000+ followers. So
yeah. There's a little bit of following.
You're doing something right.
I've had a few requests where they're like, "Can you get back into it?" I've had 2 kids since, and one was like had a lot of medical challenges, so it took a lot of my time.
Yeah.
But I actually am like trying to get back into it. It's just a lot of work with like little kids running around.
Yeah, raising a family, because all your kids are still less.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Who's your oldest?
I have 2 11-year-olds.
Okay,
so
they're still in that phase where they still need help, and
well, they're actually pretty independent.
Okay.
It's just my toddler and my 9-month-old.
Yeah.
Woo.
They're
very like, wait, you're doing something? I need you now.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. I'm excited to get back in filming. I actually enjoyed it. It just added like hours onto the process.
Yeah.
But I've had people ask me like they wanted to order through me, and they're like, could you do a video? And I'm like, I don't want to like say yes and then not be able to because of just situations.
Yeah. Because I think in your level of, I mean, I would say professional at what you do, at your level, I think people would really enjoy to see the process of how their cake is made.
Yeah, I tend to get a tip if I do an order.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice because it's like, oh, they like see, whoa, that was
like there's a
intense.
ton of work in this.
Like, yeah, even the simplistic ones sometimes are more tedious than, because just to get a crisp, clean, like it takes more time, like precision, or I have to take it off and do it again, because I think I have never thrown but 1 cake away.
Okay.
Because I just couldn't let it go out the door. And then there's some other ones where I don't post everything I make because I just, it's just a lot to do that.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's filming is a whole other job.
Yeah.
And
it is.
what I feel like happens with people who say, for instance, you being a baker, you begin to film. Well, eventually your instincts are going to come in and go, I need to make this better. I need to make this look more professional, which just adds more stress, more work, more everything, because it's never good enough, right? Like entrepreneurs are constant drive is it could always be better. So, but the content I was looking at, I was like, this is simple, pretty straightforward, and people love it.
I don't know why.
They're going crazy over it.
Yeah, it's different. I do get a lot of messages. I've actually had to turn off my, I guess, like messaging. I try not to actually get on TikTok until I'm ready to start filming.
Yeah.
I say whenever you get a troll, you've really made it. And I've had a few of those. I've had not many, but a lot of little children
Yeah.
are really cruel on TikTok. I'm like, what do you do for a living? Like, why are you coming at me? Or they get really mad when I'm like, I can't make you a cake in California. Like, I'm sorry. And then I find out it's like a 10-year-old like throwing a fit at me because
that's crazy.
I won't mail them
a cake that they want.
Yes. And I actually was reached out to, sadly 3 years ago, I couldn't do it, but I was reached out by a TV show person, and they wanted me to come to Canada and do a TV show.
Wow.
But I had to decline because my son, again, he was premature. He was only like a month old, had a lot of doctor's appointments, needed all these like paperworks. And I'm like, I can't do it. And they were like, no, we can get you out here. You can bring someone to watch him during filming. And I'm like, no, like he literally has to be with doctors.
Yeah.
So I know God has a time for me. I know that one day I think I will be able to really zone into my business more to the point where it's like my kids are more independent. Yeah. And like right now it's just word of mouth. I don't really advertise. I just, do what I can do. I'm just trusting God in the process. I have lots of business plans. I've been promoted what's that? Where they come and they like, hey, we'll give you this if you give us a percentage of your business.
Like affiliate?
Kind of like, because I have a business plan and I don't have the cash right now. So they're like, hey, we'll give you the cash, but you have to give us this percentage of your business.
Oh, just like a standard investor.
Basically
ownership.
like an investor. And I just had to decline them because I'm like, I can't justify what you're asking.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that I'm doing everything and you're just fronting like a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
Like that's just because they know it'll go somewhere. I think because I'm not so cutthroat, I guess, if that makes sense. And people see I'm very genuine. It brings them back. I've had a few people where you have harsh conversations with them where you're like, you just need to go to Kroger or you need to go somewhere else if you're wanting that pricing for artistry. Like that's just a reality of it. Like I can't take time from my family and
well, it has to be worth it too. It has to be worth not on top of like the ingredients and how you do the process, but there's also a creativity side. Yeah. Because your cakes, just for the record, are not Kroger style cakes.
No.
Like they are very detailed, very creative, from to Legos to 3-tier things you would see like at an Indian wedding, like just extremely extravagant.
Yeah, some are.
What's your do you only do 3-tier, or does it matter like what really comes down to like what a person pays?
It comes down to what the person wants. I wish I had the money to really explore my artistry. Financially, it's just not an option. Look at the world today, you know. First I got hit with COVID and then we get hit with inflation, so it's not been very gentle to the baking world. So I don't splurge on things. I know I could do like I really would like to get into the sculpting more and working with different mediums. Like I think I could really thrive in it. I am self-taught completely, so YouTube's my go-to, or I just wing it. I literally just I feel like I got very blessed in the sense of like if I see something, I can just calculate it in my head on like how could I accomplish that and make it edible. So it's just, I think you either have it or you don't when it comes to that stuff. I would love to get into a few classes maybe just to learn about sugar sculpting and like working with modeling chocolate more or stuff like that. But I'm also okay with just learning it on my own at a slow pace. Yeah. My kids are little and they're priority. And that's why I refuse to have a brick and mortar. Yeah. I've been offered it. Yeah. I'm not there.
That levels up your game.
Yeah.
A whole lot more.
My goal is eventually to have a food truck.
Okay.
And I have a business plan and everything, and it's ready to go. I just am not ready to take the leap yet until I kind of sit back and see what's going on in the world. Yeah. And my kids get a little bit more independent. We don't have family here, so it's like all on me to raise them. Like I don't have like it's expensive childcare.
Yeah.
So that's why I do this from home.
Childcare is expensive.
So yeah, that's why I do it from home. But we're breaking generational things and working our butts off, and
cool.
It's just right now it's a little bit on the back burner, but I'm still like doing what I can.
Yeah.
In between homeschooling and like everything.
Raising a family and moving too, because you're moving.
Yeah.
So when you're baking cakes, when you're experiencing, where do you get your inspiration from? And then what are some examples that clients have reached out that you've cooked for them or baked for them? Like a theme. Okay,
so my favorite clients are the ones who are like, this is what we are thinking of, and they just list a theme, and we just want these colors. Could you just like make something?
Yeah.
And then they tend to get the best because
full-blown
they get it because they're just
and
like, we trust you, make something. And I'm like, yes. And I enjoy it so much that I end up losing money on it, but it's just fun. And I'm like, oh, and they tend to get the best. There are certain ones who are like, they will send an inspo pic, and I'm like, hey, this is a Pinterest. I'm just going to let you know it's filtered and there's this, but I can get it as close as possible if that's what you want, you know?
Yeah.
I want to do whatever they're paying their money for.
Right.
It's their special occasion, you know, and they picked me. It's an honor personally, I think, because again, it's a centerpiece. Like there's going to be photos with it. There's going to be, I don't know. I think my favorite part, and I always ask customers, I'm like, could you just like send a picture of their face? Like I love whenever they
for like the reveal.
Yes.
When they do a reveal.
I love when they just light up and they're like, that's cake. And I'm like, yes, it is.
I love that.
So it's more or less just like making someone feel special.
Yeah.
And like someone took the time and thought to get me something that's one of a kind for me on my day. And then you get to eat it. It doesn't just go to waste.
Yeah.
So
and I'm sure it tastes really, really good.
I don't think I've had one bad review.
Yeah.
So that's I will pat myself on the back for that. And I watched some of your podcasts and you interviewed, I think, the owners of Fresh Start.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where my baking started in Delaware.
Oh,
no joke.
way.
Yeah. So I'm actually on their wall with my cheesy little self. Yeah, so I won their competitions both years.
That's cool.
I think there was one more year prior, and I won the next second and third year.
When was that?
Oh, geez, 2018 and 2019.
Okay,
so right before
around
COVID.
Yeah, right around when they were opening up. And
yes, and it was an intense competition. I didn't know what I signed up for.
Really?
So a little backstory. I was in not the best situation prior to relationship-wise marriage, and I just got out of that. And you start with like nothing, but it's a piece. It's like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
So I had I was working 3 jobs as a single mom, and I was waitressing. I was doing in-home childcare, and then I would make cakes.
Wow.
So I never slept, but somehow I had the energy. I had the energy to do it all.
That's busy.
So, but my friend sent me the link to it and was like, you should do this. And I'm like, why? I don't know. I'm just starting. I don't know what I'm doing. And she's like, but you're good. And I'm like, you don't believe in yourself. Kind of like in the beginning, you're like, no, like I need a few years under my belt. She's like, no, you should do it. And I was like, I'm okay. And then she's like, you get like a free KitchenAid mixer. I'm like, whoa. now. Because I went to Goodwill and I had a broken mixer beater by hand. That's what I was using. And I was like, it was horrible to use.
Yeah.
But it got the job done. Don't judge now, okay? And I was like, oh, I could use that. She's like, yeah, there's pans and there's like all this stuff you could use for like setup of like, I could use that bad. And if I want it would save me hundreds.
Oh, yeah, because those aren't cheap.
Oh, no. So I entered in it, and it was tough competition. And I'm like, I am not going to beat these people. I don't know what's going on. And then I was like, I ended up winning. And I was like, what just happened? And it was a 3-week competition.
Wow, that's long.
It was not a 1-week competition. Again, I didn't know what I signed up for, but I was like, all I saw was the prize.
So what keep the eyes on the prize.
Eyes on the prize. I didn't know there was different categories. There was like a chocolate confections one. There was like a cake desserts one. And then there was, what was the other one? Like a bread one.
Okay.
Yes. And I was just like.
So did they do like
They had like
examine your cake
yes,
and
yes.
Make sure everything is perfect.
Yeah,
and
they did. It was insane. They
Dang.
had judge come in. They did blind taste testings.
Wow.
It was like it was an hour's process, and I was like, it was nerve wracking. I am just like, and the competition. Let me tell you, some of these women. They were like, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm like, I've got nothing. I've got nothing. I'm like,
I'm just keeping my eyes on the
I just want the
prize.
KitchenAid mixer. God, please. And
Oh my
somehow
gosh.
they kept liking my stuff, and it made people mad there. And these sweet old women, they made sure I knew about it. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
I'm so
gosh.
sorry, but I'm very happy for myself.
As you're walking away with your KitchenAid
Yeah.
mixer.
Yes,
Thanks
I
for the
know.
memories.
But again, I didn't expect to win. I really didn't. And I think that was the first moment where I was like, wait, like I really think I could do something with this, because my thinking was I needed to do something for myself for therapy, and that's where the cakes came back in. And I was like, I enjoy this. This is fun. It's artist.
So
yeah.
So on top of baking, there was also a side of it that kind of helped you break free.
Yeah.
Like
so
more of a internal healing process.
So it helped me get out of my situation as well. So I was a very controlled situation, I guess I'll just say. And I was able to make some stuff on the side and kind of start storing some money away. So it really has done a lot for me, in a sense of just help me get to where I'm at and provide what I need to. And I love doing sculpting work. I really did. But I also am like, no one really wants a sculpture, but they do want food. So let's do it together. And I was like, hey, people really enjoy this. And it's just nice to see people like enjoy it. I don't know. Like, I feel like artists like when they see people enjoy their work.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from it. And it's like, I'm a giver. I love to give things. It's like on Christmas, I hate waiting to Christmas Day. I'm like, could you open it now?
Just do it now.
Why don't you just open it now? I just wrapped it. It's fresh.
Yeah.
Like right there. It's ready to go. And so I just love that. That's I just like to make people feel good.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. I love that. I'm just curious, like what's a really extravagant price point? And what would you say like is your lowest price point, and how do you navigate that? Because I'm sure it's different for every client, depending on what they want. So there's a lot of flux in there. Yeah,
so I get that question a lot. They are like, well, how much is a 2-layer 8-inch cake? And I'm like, well, it depends. What flavor do you want? What filling do you want? Do you want a filling? What buttercream do you want? What design do you want? So all of that factors in. I can tell you the most expensive cake I've done, and then the cheapest cake I've done.
Okay.
So I've done a 3-tier cake for a wedding with a side sheet cake and a groom's cake on it. And that was around $1,100.
Okay.
So I'm pretty reasonable. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty reasonable for getting 3 items.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really good. I try not to break the bank. I try to be pretty fair.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. I loved it. And it's because I wanted to do that one.
Okay.
I was like, ooh.
This wasn't the fancy 3-tier.
No.
So what was that for?
That was a wedding.
Was it? Okay.
Or a birthday cake. I don't really know. I didn't really ask. They were just like, can you do a geode cake? And we want these colors.
Geode. That's what it is.
And I was like, I don't really like these color combinations, but they wanted that. So I was like, okay, I'll make it work.
It looked incredible.
So yeah, it was interesting getting the rock candy, and like, it was fun. It was fun.
I was like,
yeah,
that's food.
Yeah, it's fun. I love doing like I try to stay away from sculptures sometimes, but I do.
So when you say sculptures, what do you mean by that?
Like, I have a few cakes on my TikTok where I have like the Care Bear sculpted, stuff like that, where like you sculpt figurines. Like, I have one cake I made for my my nephew, and it was my brother and him.
Okay.
And I took that actually to North Carolina to make him a little smash cake for his first birthday. Okay. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, it's tedious.
Yeah.
It takes like 2 weeks to do something like that though. So
wow.
People need to order ahead for certain.
Yeah.
And I hate to decline a lot of people. I have to do that. But that's again why I started the videos, because I don't think people realize like this takes days. Sometimes it doesn't take.
It's not a 2 or 3 hour ordeal to have this immaculate piece of baked good in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm small. I do everything. I'm a one woman show. Like I do my quotes, I do my promoting, I do everything from start to finish. Okay. So it's just me. So I'm like, I have to go get the ingredients. Yeah. So I have to order. I have to write everything out. I have to spend 3 to 4 days confirming your quote and getting the exact details you want. Yeah, so
it's a whole process.
It is. It's not just baking. It's the decorating's like just the last little cherry on the top. Yeah. Everything else way more tedious prior.
Yeah. So what's the cheapest?
The cheapest I've done is free.
Oh, well, all right. That works.
For some friends and stuff like that. But no, the cheapest I've done was like a 2-inch or a 2-layer 6-inch cake. Just simple buttercream. And that was, my prices have changed now since inflation, but it was around $45.
Okay. That's
start to finish.
That's fair. $45.
But now that's not happening.
Now it's probably like 65.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, about with that. Yeah, and maybe a little bit more because pricing for shipping went up for like boxes and cake boards and stuff like that.
Do you ship your cakes?
I do not, but I have to order in like cake boxes and stuff, and I get charged shipping.
Yeah.
For ordering the stuff. Yeah. So I have to account for that.
So it's mainly just local people who reach out to you.
Yeah, I've done a few where people have picked it up from Indiana and they've drove, or they take it to Indiana, or where's another one? Someone's went to Cincinnati or somewhere like another 2-3 hour drive away.
So if they were coming to pick it up, that's fine.
I deliver up to an hour and a half away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you do make deliveries
for orders over 250, over 250. Yeah. So I will deliver that with a fee.
Okay.
Basically gas.
Yeah.
And sitter charge.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because you got them kids.
I got them kids, and they're my joy. So
that's fun. So how did you, kind of like sidetracking here a little bit, how did you meet Nick?
Oh, do you want the truth or the fluff?
I mean, I'm all for the truth.
Well, I was a single mom.
This is a podcast where
I was a single mom working 3 jobs out of a rough marriage, and good old dating app.
Okay, cool.
Right away. And
those are wildly popular.
I actually was never on one for 8-9 years because I was with somebody and I took time away, and then my friend was the one who kind of, you should just do that and go get a nice steak on a nice gentleman's tab. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, that's what women do. And I'm like, really? And then I got on there and I was like, this is not my type of dating pool. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't miss out on much. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
So he was the only person who I actually spoke to on the whole app.
Okay.
So yeah, he just seemed genuine, and that's how it started. And then I just deleted it after I met him. I was only on it for 3 days, and somehow he popped in there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and
that's
then
cool.
He never left. So
there you go.
I'm a pretty blunt person.
Yeah.
So I'm very like, you're not really my type, but we have good conversation. So like,
he's probably like, thanks. You know.
I was a mom. I mean, I wasn't interested in anything really.
That changes things too, though. Like when you're a mom, because you have kids, they're a priority, but then you also want this part of your life to be complete, and to feel that appreciation for. So
and I was going through my own journey as well, like mentally with God and stuff. It was really hard to walk away from a situation, but I made my peace with it, and I feel like God had my back, and I feel like anybody in that situation should not stay in that situation, no matter what anybody says, So, and I had no help. I had a few friends, but like in the end, it's all on you. So, like they're not there for the dark times, and because those tend to hit at night when you're alone, and you're like, man, this sucks. Like, God, I'm a good person. What's happening here? And it's just part of my testimony, my journey, and. One day I'll write a book whenever. I've had a lot of people tell me to write a book, but I'm like, I don't think people can handle the book yet. So maybe whenever my life settles down and I can get my writing out, that'd be great.
Yeah. So how long did you guys date?
Man, We dated for 3 years.
Okay.
And then got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a good bit of relationship. And
yeah, it was pretty fast tracked though because of certain situations we were in, obviously dealing with kids and he had his past and things he was going through. So we kind of double teamed together in a sense, and we kind of met when we both needed somebody, if that makes sense. So he leaned on me, I leaned on him during that, and then again, we're trying to learn and be different than how we grew up in a sense, and raise our kids a little different, and it's hard. It's hard.
Do you homeschool all your kids?
I homeschool all of mine, yes.
So you have
I have five, but
okay.
I do have a stepdaughter, and I don't homeschool her.
Okay.
I would love to, because she is a smart little cookie.
Yeah.
And I feel like she could probably be like on a high school level on certain subjects, but I also respect her mother and respect what's going on and like how their split is. So they share 50-50.
Okay.
But love her to death. I've known her since she was like almost like right before she turned 4.
Okay.
So we don't know life without her.
Okay. That's cool.
We've been together for a minute.
That's cool.
For a while. The two 11-year-olds are 4.5 months apart.
Okay.
They're like little peas in a pod.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the preteen stages, woo! I don't know if I'm going to make it through.
Your release will be in baking in the kitchen. I'm gone. Deal with your,
Yes. I am ready to get to the point where I can put my headphones back on.
Yeah.
And zone out the world.
Yeah.
I used to do the best when it was like super late at night. When everybody was settled, I knew all my responsibilities were in bed.
Right.
And then I could just put my headphones on, blast my music, and just let the art
bake and get in the zone.
Yes. It's very therapeutic. It's been rough the last few years with the littles, but it's
raising kids ain't no walk in the park.
It is not.
They're kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw this on a movie, but it makes me think of somebody was talking about kids, and they were like emphasizing like you're literally raising a human being to be a human being. Like, who thought this was a good idea?
God.
Like, right? Yeah. So it was so funny because it was just like a chaotic moment in the scene. They were like, who thought this was a good idea? Learn yourself. It was funny. It was a comedy.
And it's really hard to raise them when you're also like retraining how you grew up and like what you went through. And we also have like the sticky mess of like a split household, and then also not a split household because we have 2 kids together.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, I think one day I'll write a parenting book because I've looked for parenting books to help me.
Yeah.
And there's none. I've never found any.
At least in the situation.
No,
in.
not very like, trust God situation. It's more like go to get medication.
Yeah.
Like just medicate yourself basically. You'll make it through.
We don't need any more of that.
Yeah, so I'm very against that unless you absolutely need it.
Yeah.
I try to do everything before doing something like that. I would never judge anybody who does that for themselves, but personally, we have not had the best experience that I've seen growing up with medication and like how it's given out like candy, and it's just not
my so I'm bringing my sister on, I think in 2 weeks, but I forget because she has the 4 boys. I forget which one was having medical issues when they were born, and at some point she told the doctor like, no, I'm not revamping this medication. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks he was actually better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I feel like women get in that maternal instinct too. Like there's a connection you have with your child that kind of tells you like, okay, something's off here. And then you have that, again, instinct to like do research.
Yes.
Like,
but even not the research, you get a gut feeling.
Yeah.
You really do get this like something's not right. Something doesn't feel right here. And that's actually saved my daughter Emma a few times, and it's even saved Riker and me. So I tell everybody, go with your gut. And the medical field works for you.
Yeah.
It's not the other way around. This is why I work for myself as well.
Yeah.
Because I have a few opinions that people don't agree with.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I feel like I feel like it's becoming more of a culture piece too, where people, and again, like there's amazing doctors, there's
Yeah.
amazing medicines and procedures that have been discovered, and it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But there's also the darker side of it,
Yes.
that these companies
Money.
just want to make money.
It's
you
money.
know? And
Sick brings in money.
yeah, and there's a culture of people, I feel like, that are kind of just becoming more aware of like, let's do some research, let's stick to what we know, and let's try that instead of paying and becoming in debt for all of these things. Like, let's try something herbal. Let's try something that's organic and actually has the sciences to prove that this is actually really beneficial for your body and health. And so I just see a lot more people becoming into that, like that homestead mentality,
Yes.
you know, where they're actually more free. They're not confined by, you know, things of this world or medical or whatever. But again, there's great medicines, but then there's also the darker side
like
of
I mean, they
medicines.
saved mine. They saved my life. Like when I was pregnant with my son. Like I think it's there for a reason. I think. But what I like to say is God has given everything we need already on earth.
Yeah.
Like fruits, vegetables, herbs, oils, like it's all here on earth to help us. We just don't know how to use it anymore because we've done the quick and easy fast way. And there's all these like side effects.
It always makes me laugh hearing medicine commercials.
Oh,
like
this
when
will
they
help you with your headache, but here's the warnings. Blah 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 blah
oh
blah
my
blah
gosh,
blah blah blah
it's
blah,
so
and it's
funny.
It's half of the commercial.
Oh yeah, and what's even like, it's just so funny because again, like, because they're, you know, having like subscription accounts to like Netflix or Amazon or Peacock or Paramount Plus, like you'll get commercials and try this new Alzheimer's drug.
Yeah,
medical conditions may include
if you have bleeding out of
anal
your eyes,
seizures, nose bleeding, temporary blindness.
Yeah,
I'm like,
if
oh my god,
if bleeding comes out of your eyes, please seek
like,
medical help.
This
and I'm
is
like,
awful.
I'm like, is it worth it?
Well, and then sometimes they'll be like, it may take 2 weeks for these drugs to work. Like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna suffer, and then even maybe this might work. So it's just like, this is insane.
Yeah,
so insane.
I've been actually kicked out of a pediatrics office, so that was fun.
Yeah.
That was an experience.
Yeah. Well, so I feel like too, and you can speak to this, but I feel like, again, in some situations, when mothers try to actually protect their kids, or even the father too, like when parents try to protect their kids in a hospital or in a medical field,
they'll take your kid.
Yeah, they have to be extremely cautious.
I've dealt with CPS.
A doctor could just sign a thing and be like,
yeah, I've dealt with CPS due to reports because I wasn't doing what they felt was right.
That's
and
crazy.
I'm like, this is my child. You don't own my child.
Right.
And you have no property to my child. And they still open an investigation. But I think it's funny because whenever there's actual reports of like abuse, they don't investigate as well.
Yeah.
But if it comes to where, oh, they're not doing this and this in medical, let's go investigate.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane to me, but that's another
wild.
story.
That's another story for another time.
Back to cake.
We really
Back
went
to
on
cake.
a side bend there, but that's fun.
Let me put this sugar up in your body.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
the real addiction in America.
Yeah.
And I'm promoting it. Oy.
Yeah. In a good and great way. What's your? So I know you emphasize like when somebody just reaches out to you and they're like, "Here's our colors. Here's what we want. Just go and create."
Yes.
Is there any favorite creation that you've done that like this is number one? This was incredible.
Man, no. I think I like several. I really like when colors complement each other. And I like...
Are you more of a bright cake color girl or like a moody color girl?
It depends. If it's summer, bright. If it's like gross out, I want the moody emo vibe. I'm for it.
Okay.
Like I'm for that dark color, that silky black like icing, but I hate doing black icing because it stains everyone's teeth.
Yep.
And I'm like, you can make an
so does
icing.
blue.
So yeah, and I let people know this. I'm a real nice person, okay? Because let me tell you, I've been to a birthday before I did all this when I was younger, and I remember we ate cake. All of our mouths were red and blue.
Yeah.
And half the kids looked like they were bleeding out the gums, and the other half just looked like they were on something. And I'm like, wow, this is and I couldn't get it off. And I remember, because I had a dentist appointment the next day, this is why I remember this. And I remember I couldn't get it off. I just couldn't get it off. And I was like, and I got to go to the dentist, and I hate the dentist, and I just wanted to get in and out, and this was going to make me stay longer. And I knew it. And yeah, so I will tell people, like, if you want this color icing, be prepared.
It's going to stain.
It will stain your teeth. It will stain your clothes, your fingers. So be prepared with that. And then I'll give them like alternative ideas if they don't want that.
Okay.
So I try to do that and like think outside the box of like, okay, they want this, but like they need to know, like if they're taking tons of photos and stuff like that, I want them to be aware, of their what could happen, because I've had a woman who's had to pay a lot of money for Photoshop.
Yeah.
Because she wanted that color to match. And I'm like, it's gonna stain. And she didn't believe me. She even brought like it's like toothpaste or something and gave them in like the little bridesmaids packets, and she's like, it didn't work. It did not work. She's like, I had to pay like a lot of money to Photoshop everyone's teeth during the reception. I was like,
it's like, I told you.
I did tell you that.
Yeah.
And this is why I put everything in writing.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. So apparently you have like contracts someone will sign.
Yes and no. So it's a verbal and a written contract by me writing out the quotes, and then I put in there, I'm like, do you agree with the quote? Is there something not on it? And then they will message like, I agree to this quote or stuff like that. I keep it very simple. I keep it very personal. I keep it very just like, I don't know. I want it to feel like it used to back in the day, where like you could go into like when your grandma would cook, you know what I mean? Where it's just homey, cozy, no shady stuff. Yeah. You just feel like comfort. Like, no all these big fancy contracts that you have to sign. And I mean, I protect myself, but I definitely try to keep it simplistic for the customer, and I take on all the headache part. Yeah. So. Okay. It's supposed to be a fun process. You're already stressed planning a party. Yeah. It should be fun to plan the cake. Yeah. And be excited and wait on it.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair. That's kind of how I feel about my wedding business. It's kind of like, just keep it simple.
They are stressed.
Oh, they are.
They are stressed, and they will take it out on anyone. I don't want to be that person.
I had last year, I had a bride who was texting me about 2-3 times a week. Yep. Just asking questions.
For comfort.
Yeah, and I would just respond back like, yep, no, that's totally fine. The timeline or the coordinator will handle this. And, she was great. Phenomenal couple. But that stress really amped up.
You just need the constant confirmation of like, it's all good. You're not going to bail on me, because I've worked with a lot of brides. Actually, I love doing wedding cakes. I love doing wedding cakes. And I just know I've seen what goes on behind the scenes, and I've seen how it's about the bride, but the bride is expected to do everything. Yeah. And I'm like, they're normally the ones planning it. I've had a few mother-in-laws and stuff do it. But I'm just like,
I've had a few where the coordinator plans everything, where I won't even be in contact with the bride.
Yeah, I've had that.
That's unique, and I don't mind it just as long as everybody's on the same page. But I kind of like the idea.
Yeah. I have not had that. I've had it to where they plan it, they pay for it, and then after that, I deal with a coordinator for delivery. Oh, okay. So for delivery and setup, and that's been kind of a headache sometimes, because there was one point where they gave me a cake stand on site, because I map all this out, and the cake stand was broken, and I had to catch the cake.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so they gave me a broken cake stand, and I put this 3 beautiful white pristine cake on there. I mean, it's hard to get that white, clean look and then add the pretty floral. And that's some of my favorite, when it's just simplistic and elegant. And I put it on there, and then all of a sudden I step back, and it just starts leaning. I mean, it was slow-mo.
Oh my gosh.
It was a slow-mo action. I'm like, thankfully, I'm a type A sometimes when it comes to business, and I prepare, and I bring buttercream and tools and gloves just in case.
Well, you would kind of want to do that just for situations like that.
Yeah, and I fixed it, but let me tell you, they're lucky I didn't just turn around real quick, because it would have been on the ground.
I was a bit nervous.
I've had cakes that were melting because it was 103 out, and I'm like, can I go inside and do this?
So when it's hot out, so how much? Again, depending on the style of the cake, you use fondant or fondant.
It depends what they order.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've had a buttercream cake where it is sweating.
Okay.
I am like, we got to get, and I let them know. I let them know in advance, like, do you have a refrigerator? Do you have somewhere cold that you can store this and pull out, like right after the vows, and give it some time so it's not going to do it, because it's food. Like, you can't expect buttercream to not melt. It's butter.
Yeah.
It's buttercream.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and so I try to prep them. And if they don't, I show them when I get there. I'm like, here's your cake.
Mm-hmm.
I finish it. I take a photo of it. And then at that point, it's on them.
Yeah.
I do my job. And if they...
What events do you do most of? Or is it kind of like split in the middle?
Well, lately it's been a lot of birthday cakes or special anniversary events and stuff. I love wedding cakes. I really, really do, because I even offer my couples like a 10% off on a 1-year anniversary.
Oh, okay.
So I will remake them their flavors they picked.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, if they reach out at a certain time.
So do you store all of their information like per client, or is it just kind of
I don't do that anymore. Okay. It's way too complicated.
Yeah.
And then
I'm sure it'd be a lot too.
Yeah, it's a lot. And then so they will just reach out, and I tell them like, hey, if you book a cake through me and it's over this price, you can get 10% on an anniversary cake. Okay. Just reach out at least a month in advance.
Yeah.
So I try to do that and offer that. And I think I will also show them how to wrap their cake if they want to do that, to freeze it for their open it and cut it. Okay. So like I'm all about, what do you need from me? I don't mind helping you. Yeah. I've even talked to customer, I shouldn't say this, but I have a customer who was going through a very, very hard time and just could not come up with the money. And I'm like, you've ordered cakes through me before. Like, what can I do to help? And I've walked them through how to make this cake to make it look decent, just because again, it's not about the money for me necessarily. It's about someone feeling special. Mm-hmm. So I shouldn't be that way.
No, that's a great tagline, or I don't know what you would call it, but I think that's what keeps it enjoyable.
Yeah.
For you. Like, it doesn't, because for me at least, I don't want my job to start feeling like a job. Like, I enjoy weddings, or I enjoy filming for businesses, and I enjoy doing podcasting. Like, that's the enjoyment piece out of it. Like, it feels like I haven't worked in 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think
but having that personality to be like, how can I help you? Like, what can I do to make you feel special? Because that's what I'm passionate about. Yeah. Like, I think that's a great thing to live by. Yeah.
And obviously, like, I need the money, but like, it's also not about that. I want to build clientele. You aren't, how do I say this? So I can take every customer. I could lower my price to keep a customer and get a cake, but I don't want that. I want someone who values my work and who will follow me.
Right.
I mean, I took business school. I've done that.
Yeah.
And, I know how to get clients. I know how to do that, but there's also a healthy way to get clients. And there's also like, I will decline cakes because I do value my artistry and I do value my work, and I know I'll give them the best of the best.
Yeah.
So,
and that's business 101.
But for the first 2 years, I made nothing.
Really?
And I feel like nobody realizes that. Like, when you start a business, you don't make money right off. Like, you don't. Like,
you're not instantly successful. Like, yay!
No, and you're up hours and you're grinding and you're just trying to get your name out there.
Yeah.
And I love that mine was just word of mouth, really, because there's a lot of competition in Delaware where I'm like, where did all these people come from? But I'm not cutthroat. I feel like you will have people choose you and stay with you, and then you will have the people who are just looking for the cheapest option right now. And that's okay because of situations right now to find the cheapest option. But I prefer to build people who are going to be like long term, and who
and long term looks like, birthdays, anniversaries, special events.
And they know I'll go above and beyond because I know they're going to come back. And I know, like, I have one client who orders like 5 cakes a year.
That's awesome.
And she's just like, I trust you.
Yeah.
But she also respects me. And like, she's like, I know you're busy. And I dropped the ball. I did not reach out. Like people have to understand, you have to reach out. Like, I can't just go and pull it out of a big warehouse and get everything I need. I order
There's a
things.
process.
Yes, I order things specifically for your order. I take time, I map it out, I draw it out. I will do whatever if there's visual learners, I will literally draw it out and send a photo. This is what it looks like. If they're more like, give me a breakdown, I will break it down for them. And that's just how it is. Whatever to make them feel at peace, because it is a lot of money
for a cake.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I'm not going to belittle my artistry for a quick cake. Yeah. And I'll do quick cakes, but
and I feel like there's people who value that, and there's people who be like, you're too expensive, I'll go to Kroger,
and that's totally fine.
But the people who do value it are like, great, like, this is why I charge what I charge, this is what I do and why I do it, like, let's go. So
and honestly, like, you start to get to learn your customers, and that's so fun. Like, I have one that's she's interested in homeschooling, and like, she's ordered cakes for me for years, and she's like, hey, could I actually pick your brain about homeschooling one day? It's been a little crazy, and you contact her, but it's just like, you start building this relationship, and it's not just like a robotic transaction, which is why I like small businesses, and that's why I support small businesses, because it doesn't feel so robotic and fake. It feels like a genuine, like, I enjoy this. I like this. Like, I take value in this. And that just makes things taste better. But I will say, being a baker and going to like friends' parties and stuff like that, everybody is always like, oh gosh, don't try our cakes. I'm like, why? I didn't have to make it. I didn't have to do dishes. I said, I would love it. Like, I love a sweet treat. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
My original business name was Amanda Sweet Treats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I actually rebranded, middle of COVID, I think, whenever there was a lot of businesses that were like sweet treats in the name. And I was like, hey, I've been here a little longer, but part of having a business is learning what you can and can't do. And I was doing it all. I was like doing other things than just cakes. And I was like, I really want to focus on cakes. So that's where like I came up with Amanda's Cakery. I took out the sweet treats and I became Amanda's Cakery, because I want to do cake products. I don't want to do all the sweet treats. I don't want to do all the other extras.
So you switched over to just
cake
cakes.
Products. Yeah, like cake pops, cupcakes, cakes. Yeah. So I stopped doing like the Rice Krispies, the dipped chocolates, the everything like that. Unless there's a special, then I'll do that. I'll promote that. But yeah, so like April Fool's Day, I did like last year. I did like chicken nuggets for people to buy to trick their kids, but it was actually cake pops.
Oh my gosh, that's nuggets. So fun.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then the ketchup was jelly.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah, and then a few people bought that just to trick their kids at lunch. For their school lunch. That's
cool.
I was like, this is so cute. So I do fun things when I have time, but anything, I'm pretty, I love my business, and I know it's going to go somewhere one day. I've accepted I'm in a busy season.
Yeah.
And I've accepted right now 1 to 2 cakes a week is kind of my limit to give like my quality I want. I just can't justify putting out a cake that I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
So I think...
Well, it's like you put your heart and soul literally into every single cake. So like that, every cake has its own meaning, but at the same time, it's like every cake has the same meaning to you. It's like, this is what I do.
Yeah. And it stems from where like I couldn't afford anything. Like I was in a homeless situation one time, Okay. So like I get what it's like to not be able to provide something for your child on their day, or, to have to say no to something special. So like deep down, that's like where it stems from. Like, I just want someone to feel special on those special days, and if I can help, like that one woman, she's like, I just can't do it like this year. And I helped her. I was like, let me help you. What do you want to make? Like, let me guide you from mother to mother. Just let me screw the business. Let me just help you, what can I do? And I did. I FaceTimed her. And I helped her literally just make this cake and because I've done classes. Yeah. Yeah. I love doing classes. I think that's so fun, yeah, I've done even a course before. Okay. So yeah, actually Fresh Start hired someone, one of the girls that I've done a course for. So yeah, I don't know if she still works there, but I know she did. Okay. So it's just fun, because my thing, God put on my heart the table. And You may not be able to connect to anybody. You may not even speak their language, but no matter what, you will break bread with them. You know what I mean? And food is always a conversation starter.
Amen to that.
You know what I mean? Every culture, every time I have learned, they sit down, even in tribes, they sit down and they bring out the best to feed you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To break bread with you or to just show you're welcomed.
Right.
Because you might not understand what they're saying, but you understand how to eat.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel like food is just a way to connect.
Now, so on top of cake products, are you a good cook?
Yeah.
Are you?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids love when I'm like, I'm just going to make something. I don't know what I'm going to make. They're like, oh, yeah.
That's cool.
We're go. I actually have something called Amanda's Trash Can Soup because...
Amanda's Trash Can Soup.
And my kids love it. And it was just what was in the fridge. And they're like, you got to keep making this. And I'm like, man, what did I put in that? And I just go off of flavor. That's coming back full circle to the palate. Like, I have a very sensitive palate and I can't stand textures and certain things, but I like the flavor of it. But yeah, I keep telling my kids, I was like, I wish I was a food critic. That would be my dream job.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I would love to be a food critic.
That'd
like,
be fun.
Ooh, I'd love it. I'd probably gag on a few things you'd have to eat, but
see, I think generally I can eat pretty much anything except sauerkraut. And I've tried. So what's funny is my friend and I were in a debate and she was like, you've never had real sushi before? And I said, I have. I was like, when I go shopping at Kroger, I pick up their little track of sushi.
That's not real sushi.
But they're so good. I was like, they're freaking
Buckeye
amazing.
roll all the way.
Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, I've had real sushi before. And she's like, that's not real sushi. So at one point we hung out and she went to a legitimate sushi
Japanese
restaurant.
house,
Yeah. And it was like I think it was 4 different samples. And because you order it fresh, they'll make it right then and there. And there were 4 samples. I did not like
Me
any
neither.
single one
My
of them.
brother was a sushi freak.
And I got her a Kroger sushi tray. And I was like, all right, try this little rice wrap, And I was like, that's freaking good. And she was like, no, this is garbage.
Yeah, my brother liked that raw sushi. And he knew all the names of it. I'm like, this is the sake with it. He had to have the sake with it.
Oh,
and I'm like, this is disgusting. And then I'm over here. It's got to be fried.
Yeah.
Fry my sushi. What's fried on this? And then they're like, this one. And it's perfect.
Yeah.
As long as it's cooked, I'm great.
Yeah.
So again, it's a texture thing. But I love playing with flavors. Love me some garlic. So yeah, but even my husband, whenever I first started dating him, horrible palate. I don't know what happened, but I'm like, you got to learn to flavor things. Like he hated onions, he hated things, and then now he's like, yeah, they're not bad. I'm like, that's right. You gotta do it right.
Yeah,
you gotta flavor it right. But yeah, my whole family when I'm like, I'm just gonna make something up, they're like, yes.
Yeah, that's fun.
I know it's fun, but sometimes I'm like, the hardest thing about being an adult is figuring out dinner every day.
I'm single, and that's how I feel every single day.
I am like, what? No one tells you the most difficult thing growing up as an adult is figuring out dinner every night that you have to make.
For me, I feel like it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
It's all meals. It really
it's like,
is.
Oh, I have to feed myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all meals. It's all meals. It's just like exhausting. And then we'll finish dinner and my husband's like, so what's for tomorrow's dinner? I'm like, we just finished. Just give me a day. Just give me a day.
That's so funny. And then remembering to buy food too.
Oh, I love Instacart now. I have discovered this, and let me tell you,
I'm not a fan.
You know what? When you've got 5 kids,
I know, I understand.
And you're like,
understand.
I do not want to drag these children in here, especially to Costco. I am like, if they can save me a trip to Costco and back for diapers, and I am for it.
I get it. I get it. So Instacart, I understand, but also self-checkout, never been a fan.
No, I don't agree with that. I think robots are replacing us, but that's another discussion.
Well, so little tidbit, and then we'll change topic. Elon Musk believes, he was doing an interview, and he's like, probably in 50 years, we'll have to pay the American people like $100,000 a year just to live. Because the way AI is becoming more transparent and more real. And he's literally on the foresight of like, we're going to have to pay the American people a salary.
Yeah, to live here.
So they can live, And I thought,
we're already there.
That's wild.
But you know what's sad about that is we're going to have to hit such a low. and things are going to have to get so bad for them to even think of that as an option.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's already thinking like that,
it's crazy.
Is a little moment.
It's crazy.
It's a little like, ooh, I try. So our rule is keep the news out of the house.
Yeah.
The news is never good, and we can't change it.
Right.
We can't control it. So why let it control our lives?
Yeah.
We're just one little blip. Now we'll vote. We'll do what we're supposed to do, and we'll stay in our lane. And you know, but our goal is to that's why we're moving to a little bit of cheaper area. You know, try to get
more countryside though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, try to get a little bit more space and try to start a garden. I want some chickens. I want my fluff butt nation. That's what I'm going to call it.
Fluff butt nation.
Yes, my little
That's
fluff
funny.
hens, and they're going to provide fresh eggs for my cakes.
I love it.
So that is my goal. I
love
want
it.
some chickens. We don't have a lot of land. Actually, it's not a lot at all, but I can do a lot with
you have enough for chickens.
I have enough for chickens and a little bit of gardening. And just to, I like to say start small. Start small so you don't waste a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So if I can start small and really perfect things, and then when I can, I'm going to get a lot more land.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yeah, when that time comes.
Yeah, but right now, just be grateful for what you have and work with what you have. And I don't know. I just feel like I've been in some situations where I'm like, God is literally the only reason I think things have gone forward, you know, sometimes. And I'm like, what's
a busy season look like for cake baking? Or is it kind of like consistent year round?
It can be consistent year round. So I will say October, September, big.
Really?
Real big.
Is that because it's Halloween?
I don't know a lot of weddings happen then actually.
Okay.
Cuz it's cooling off, there's no bugs.
That's true.
Stuff like that. It's like more relaxed. There's not much like travel going on. Obviously, you know, season during the summer, spring and summer big.
Yeah.
I'm actually taking the summer off because we're moving and I have I have to travel and stuff. It's just like I'm not even gonna have a kitchen to bake in for a while. So
yeah.
I'm like,
which
whoops.
is kind of a main thing you need, you know, when you're cake and bakes. And
yes,
such,
which is like it's a miracle I made this because my whole kitchen's almost packed. So I'm like, it's not the prettiest, but it's gonna taste good.
It'll taste good,
hopefully. So, but yeah, it's a process for sure. But it's nice to also know that like, oh, I don't have to like plan for like an order. So it's gonna be nice to take like a month off or two. So I am doing that currently. Actually, I have one more cake order and then I'm taking the month off.
Okay.
So it's gonna be nice. I'm just traveling too much. There's too much going on to commit. So this summer, but yeah, summer, spring. And then like fall.
Okay.
I will say November and December are more like I get a few birthdays, but it's mainly like, could you make something for Thanksgiving? Could you make it for while we're prepping? Could you make a custom cute little dessert for after we eat? Or for Christmas, it's like they do a lot on Christmas Eve. I get a lot of Christmas Eve orders. I was banking out hot cocoa bombs for a while there. Let me tell you.
What are those?
Hot cocoa bombs are the bomb. Okay. I was making homemade hot cocoa bombs. You have to go on TikTok and see that. That was, they're balls of chocolate with cocoa in it.
Oh.
And you drop it in and you pour hot milk over it and it makes hot cocoa. And it's such a cool process because it melts and then it just bloop. Pops up cool marshmallows, and I had Oreo flavor. I had it was the bomb. I had coffee mocha flavor. You put it in your coffee.
Dang,
let me tell you,
that sounds good.
Yeah, I think a tanning salon actually bought like 100 of them as like a gift one year for Christmas for their party. I love making them, so I really need to promote those because that's what I really enjoy making during like the cold seasons.
Okay,
because they're great stocking stuffers.
Yeah.
They're great like party favors.
It's a comfort food.
It is,
you know,
and
it's a comfort drink.
Yes, and you can have it for up to 6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like it's the chocolate.
It lasts.
Yeah. So it's like got a shelf life a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they're delicious.
I like that.
The mocha one. So good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, the Oreo was a big hitter, but I was customizing those. I made unicorn looking ones. I made Mario ones. I made Pokemon balls. I was like, what can I do to make this cool?
Yeah.
So
cool and unique.
Yeah. So if you want cocoa bombs, hit me up in the.
That is so funny.
It's so fun.
Do you remember? So I'm curious to know. if you remember, like the first thing that you baked and it clicked that you were like, I could turn this into a business.
My daughter's birthday cake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I did it in South Carolina, and ironically,
Is that where you used to live?
Yes.
Okay.
And then it was My Little Sunshine, and I was ambitious.
What's My Little Sunshine?
Like, you are my sunshine. Like the song. That was the theme. Like you are.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So first birthday. Come on. It's, cute. I used to sing to her. I used to sing to her all the time. You're my sunshine.
That's not from Lamb Chops, is it?
No, it's just a little.
Chops? It's just a little kid song.
It's you are my sunshine.
My only sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah.
You make me happy.
I haven't heard that song in forever.
Anyway, that's what I used to sing to my daughter all the time. So that was kind of her theme. So I was like, I'm gonna make the best cake. And when I did it, I was like, oi, this is gonna be interesting. How do I stack a cake? How do I do this? And that's whenever the fun came out of like, ooh, let me get creative. Like, what do I do for support? How do I do this? So it kind of really ignited a lot because I was like, I can't go basic. It's a first birthday.
Yeah.
So I made
that she's not going to remember.
I did, though.
You did.
It's for the parent. The
I know.
child survived a whole year. It is time to celebrate, okay? So I literally did a 2-tier cake with a smash cake, and I did like a whole texture. I didn't really have any supplies, and I did like a fondant border where I wrote the lyrics out on it.
Oh, okay.
And so the fondant border, I put little sunflower on it. But get this, here's the kicker. This is where I knew this turned out pretty good. Our power went out.
Oh.
So I did this in pitch black with a candle.
Oh my gosh.
And when the lights came back on, I was like, wow, it looks good. It's okay.
Wow.
I was like, and everybody's like, wow, where'd you get this made? And I was like, I made it.
I made it.
You like it?
Yeah.
I made it. And that's where, and it tasted good. And I was like, hey, this was so much fun. And just seeing my daughter's reaction and everyone's reaction, I was like, hey, this could be artwork. It's like sculpting.
Yeah.
Because I used to do photography, but I did film photography in school. And I was like, can't afford the black light or the orange room. It's not really black. And everything was so expensive when I left school. I'm like, wow, they didn't really
and now
tell you
everything's
this.
10 times more expensive today.
Yes. So that really, I think, started that. I will say I used to make my dad a birthday cake every year.
Okay.
He would have chocolate on chocolate cake with chocolate icing in a bowl of milk.
In a bowl of milk?
A bowl of milk.
That's like eating a soggy salad.
No, he eats it in like 3 bites.
Oh my
But let me tell you, him and my brother did that, and my grandpa did it, and it's just their thing, and that's how he would eat it, and I will never forget that. But I did make those cakes during that time.
Okay.
And what's funny is he used to give me crap about that because he lives in Arkansas. So one day I sent him a box cake to Arkansas. I said, here's your cake for the year. So yeah, we like to banter back and forth, I guess.
Cool. Well, that's cool. So your first experience was, making your daughter's cake, and then so how did you draw a business? I mean, were people aware that this is kind of like what you do or that you're pursuing?
I
or becoming great at?
tried to do some business in South Carolina afterwards to make a little income.
Okay.
And again, the situation I was in is a little bit controlled.
Yeah.
So, but every time I was like going for it and it was starting to pick up and stuff, I got pregnant. So
okay.
I'm like, great.
Well, now I got to raise a child.
Now I got another
one.
Yep. And it was a little bit of a process for delivery, but there was just situations going on during that time where it wasn't possible for me to continue it, which was
the
kind
growing side.
And, it was kind of a bummer. Just again, the living situation I in was just it was just a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
That would be a whole nother podcast if you want details on that. But it started there, and I made my daughters, all my kids' cakes every single year except for 1 year. And it was when I first moved to Ohio and I bought it because I was like, oh, we just moved here. And I was so disappointed. I was like, never again. I will make every cake from now on.
Yeah.
And that's when I started playing with fondant when I got to Ohio. And I was like, this is what I need.
Yeah.
So, and it's just so fun. I just want to do more.
Yeah.
I'll get there one day. I'm still young.
Yeah.
I had my kids young.
Yeah.
I've got time to prosper.
That's so fun. That's very cool. Do you make your own fondant?
I do.
So you literally do everything from scratch.
I do make my own fondant. The only fondant I won't make is black and red because I'm allergic to red fondant or red coloring, apparently. I just developed that in the last few years.
Welcome to adulthood. No.
Woo! I found out the hard way. My hands swelled and I couldn't move them. And I was mixing red into a fondant. And I was like, actually, it was that one big cake that I discovered it.
The Geo?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
So maybe that's why I'm like,
the most extravagant cake I've ever seen.
This one did this.
Yeah.
And so that's where I realized I have an allergy with the food coloring on my skin.
Wow.
So that was fun. So I do not make my black or my red anymore.
Okay.
But those tend to be just accent colors.
Yeah.
I will if they absolutely need it. But yeah, I make my own fondant. It's actually marshmallow. So I make a marshmallow fondant.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I feel like that might taste better than
it does. Actually, I've had
thick, compact brick fondant.
I've had a lot of people be like, I don't like fondant, but I like your fondant.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's basically a melted marshmallow.
That's funny. That's funny. How long did it take? Not including like the booking or planning or getting details processed, but like from start to finish of making a cake, how many hours? Like what's the most amount of hours you put into a single cake, and what's the shortest amount of hours?
Shortest 2 hours.
Okay. And is that just a standard 2-layer 6-inch cake?
It's because there's chill time in between. So you have to like stack it, crumb coat it, fill it, and then you have to chill it in between the crumb coat and stuff.
What's crumb coat?
So you stack it, and then you do a layer of the buttercream thin, and it kind of catches all the crumbs. And then you chill it. And then that way, when you do a final coat or one or two more coats, the crumbs aren't making your buttercream messy.
Okay.
So you don't get all these specks of like, So it's a process. So it's about 2 hours because no matter what, it's around 2 hours.
Okay.
The simplistic cakes
is about 2 hours
because you have to do like chill time and then prep time. And
Okay.
So there's that.
And what's the extreme?
Sometimes you have like the figurine ones. I have to start like 2 weeks in advance. So yeah.
I mean, is it like 8 hours a day, 4 hours a day, or because there's processes, right?
There's processes
or stages, if you will.
There's stages, yes.
It.
So it depends, man. The most I've done, I think, was about a week long, and I was like spending at least 4 to 5 hours a day on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because it's just very tedious, detailed work, and you have to let things set, and you have to do this, and then you also have to factor in temperature.
Yeah.
So outside, so I have to keep my house a certain temperature for certain things I'm working with. So yeah, like this, you just like, oh, it's cold, and it's not cold in here.
I always tell people just to be on the safe side. You know, it's like, just so you know, I keep the AC at like 67.
No,
so
this is nothing.
I prefer cold.
Yeah, same.
Like I just enjoy it. I hate being hot.
I like being hot outside in the sun around a pool.
Yes. Yeah, that works.
I think that's worth it. But inside, no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah,
How did you get I've seen some of your cakes. How did you were you just naturally good at the artistry when it came to like building the figurines or a race car or a truck or Pokemon? Because you did a Mario cake, didn't you?
I've done many of those, yeah.
Okay. So like seeing the details of those, like the mushrooms and the colors, I'm like, holy cow, like this is actually really freaking good. Like,
yeah.
So were you always gifted in the development of figurines, or did it take some class lessons?
No,
trial and
I
error?
learned all on my own.
Okay.
I see it and I figure it out. I don't know why. And then the only thing I've really ever looked up on YouTube was like a certain medium to use. Like, do I use modeling chocolate or do I use gum paste for this? I don't look up how to mold or sculpt.
Okay.
I just kind of go for it.
You just wing it.
Yeah, because I feel like
when you do that, do you go off of like a mental picture of for instance, let's use Mario. So like, do you go off a mental picture or do you print out a picture of Mario and then you just kind of begin crafting and building?
I just pull up a photo on my phone and just look at it.
Yeah.
And then like I might combine like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So like if he's in a different position, I might tweak it, make him look in a different position, but do the head of the other one on the other. So I'm a visual person.
Yeah.
I have to visually see the colors to match the coloring. I can't just like, I don't have a photogenic memory. But yeah, if I can see it, I can make it.
Okay.
And I don't know how that works, but it works.
Okay.
I'm very grateful it works. That's why I call myself a hobbyist. I've had many weird jobs.
Yeah.
Because I just somehow am good at it. I don't know. Like, I don't know how. Like guitar. Oh, I kind of. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to learn guitar. And I just picked it up. I don't know what notes I'm playing, but it sounds really good. Like, you know, it just works for me. I don't know why. Photography, I was just really good at that. I was really good at sculpting. I just choir, anything artistic. It's just fun. I just want to master one day things. But I feel like the reason I like artistic things is because you can learn all the time. Yeah. It's never a plateau. You can always learn. And that's why I like cakes, because I'm like, I don't ever do the same. I think there's one cake that I repeat, and it's this candy cake that people were going obsessed over, these candy cakes.
Okay.
Ugh. I mean, they're fun and all, but trying to fight off kids when you're doing candy cakes, I'm like, look, guys, stop.
I need this for the cake.
This is for cakes. Now they know. Don't touch anything unless we ask if there's a cake order going on. My husband learned the hardest about Oreos.
Okay.
Let me tell you. We had a moment with the Oreos.
Yeah.
He's like, never again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. He was doing a late run to get some Oreos after that moment.
Yeah.
So
man's got to eat.
He's a binge eater when he sleepwalks and stuff, I guess. I don't know.
That's funny.
Cereal's his go-to.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a moment. But I was doing a few things with Olivina before they closed down. So
why do I know that?
It was the olive oil place, and they were doing just
right there in downtown.
And they were doing some pop-up stuff.
I was actually really sad to see them close.
I was too,
because I shopped there a few times.
They had amazing products, and I think you could still buy it from Fresh Start. I think they have their stuff in there.
They have some in there, yeah.
I was doing. I love when a company reaches out to me and they're like, "Hey, can you use our product in a cake so we could do it?" And I did this one blood orange cake because they had a blood orange olive oil. So I did an olive oil blood orange cake with a chocolate ganache and then candied blood oranges on top. And then they served it during their like fancy dinners.
Okay.
It was bomb.
Sounds good.
I was like, this is good. But I love the challenge of like figuring stuff out like that.
What's the texture of ganache?
You're going to try it. It's soft. It's like a soft chocolate.
Ganache is a soft chocolate.
It's like a soft chocolate icing, but you can make it different texture. So you can make it kind of a thick, soft chocolate, or you can make it like smooth and a little bit more runny, stuff like that. So it's just chocolate with a little bit of heavy whipping cream, and then you finick with it, I guess.
Huh.
So I actually don't measure things. I know everybody's baffled as a baker.
I feel like... Well, I'm going to go grab a fork, but, because now I'm curious if there's no measurement requirements, like...
Well, I measure some things, but for the most part, like, I like my flour and stuff, I just kind of have, like, memorized in certain things.
Okay.
I just don't really...
I guess that kind of makes sense.
But like, for my ganache, I don't measure. I just go off of look. I go off of how I know it's supposed to look. Like, my certain buttercreams, my heavy whipping cream, the salt added. I just, yeah. And flavor.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to go on a diet, because I sample to make sure it's
sure it's good.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, wait, this is good. Nope, needs a little bit more of this. And I love that I can do that. I love that I can, especially with like my almond cakes and stuff like that, like or my lavender cakes. Like it's like I know how to make it not too floury, or how to balance it with the citrus.
Okay.
So yeah, at Fresh Start, I won an award for 2 flavors.
Oh.
So my white almond sour cream cake with my raspberry puree won, and then my lemon cake with my lemon curd and lavender buttercream won. Yeah, those are my 2 favorite cakes that I will eat every time.
Pretty good.
I try to really bribe the brides to really order that so I can make an extra cake on the side just for me.
Just for you.
Because I can't justify going through the labor process.
That famous line, it's like a reward, know, and you're eating your own cake.
It really is. I have friends who come over who are like, yes.
Oh,
like,
my.
I know. If you're my friend, sometimes one of my friend Camille's, I pop up. I'm like, you want these extra cake pops? Do you want this extra cake? My friend who's watching my kids now, do you want the extras of this? Yeah, I'll try it. That's fine.
So funny.
And I'm like, so yeah.
Stop twisting my arm. Okay, I'll eat it.
No.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to make small portions. I blame the South for that. So
This is
I wasn't
very
born there,
accurate.
but I lived mostly there for many years, and I feel like if someone's over, I have to feed them, and if I don't feed them, I feel icky.
Yeah.
I'm like, ew. Like, at least have water with lemon, something.
That's
like,
funny.
just take something. Please
So
eat.
do you ever apply, this might be a stupid question, but do you ever apply liquids to your cake?
Yeah.
Like the creative side, not the blending and making of that, but like, I don't know what I'm asking.
I don't know either.
Like
I've done alcohol cakes. I've done,
Ooh.
yeah, those are fun.
I did think about that earlier. Yeah. So like mixing, how do you do that? Alcohol and cakes, like flavors and.
A drunken cake.
Is that what they're called?
I call it that. I don't know if that's what it's called. And I only do that with certain friends.
Getting drunk on cake.
I have done like where a lot of people order for like their husbands or fathers.
Yeah.
And they will drop off the alcohol. I don't purchase it because I just feel like that's too complicated in certain things. But
yeah.
They drop off the alcohol, and I do really nice, fancy, bougie cakes that are
all
like,
your cakes are
like
bougie.
Firebomb. I love those. And I've done actually a video, TikTok one, where I did a fireball cake. That was a fun one.
Okay.
Crown Royal. I've done a few. Actually, Ed's Cigar Shop. I've done a few of their anniversary cakes.
That one right down there?
Yeah,
okay.
so I've done a few of those. I haven't done one in a few years, but Ed's awesome. He's great. Support him. Go buy a cigar from there. My dad loves the shop when he comes down. So yeah, I've worked with a lot around here.
So how do you mix alcohol? Like how do you mix like Fireball or Crown Royal into the cake? Because I mean,
so I did not put that in those cakes. I just add them as the decorations.
So the theme,
yes.
Okay.
I have done a few drunken cakes, but again, those are for friends.
What's the process with the drunken cake?
So you could literally, have you ever like tres leches? Have you ever seen those type of cakes where it's like a wet cake? So you could do it that way, or you could literally just mix it in. I've done a bourbon cake with chocolate before, and that was phenomenal. I just add it in my cake batter. And I go by taste.
Yeah.
You just have to with situations like that, because you can't have it too wet, and alcohol dehydrates. Mm-hmm. So, but like with my gold luster dust and stuff, I use vodka. Like you use that because it dehydrates, and then you're not actually having vodka. So I use it a lot when I decorate.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So like if you open my cabinet, it's a lot of alcohol in there, but I promise it's for cake.
I'm a mother of 5, okay? No.
Well, sometimes you need a little good drink, right? Or take off the edge.
Before bed.
Yeah.
Martini.
That's what's really in my coffee, right?
Yeah. So. We did 2 shots of bourbon in there, so no. Well, that's so cool. That's so cool. What would be on all the cakes that you bake, would all of them be like specialty cakes, or do you actually have specialty cakes that kind of differ from your standard creation?
No, they're all custom, and that's why I really value myself on taking 1 to 2 orders a week, because I feel like that's what makes me stand out. I've done it to where I can make a few and be like, hey, I've got this cake. Does anybody want it for $50 just because I have extra?
Yeah.
I stopped doing that because there's a lot of like, oh yeah, sure. And then they don't show up.
Yeah.
So I do where they do a deposit prior, because I've had a lot of no-shows or something happens and then I'm out a cake. Actually, I have a funny story.
Yeah, I'm all
So
ears.
when I first started, this actually made me sad. I was living in a little apartment, just doing my thing. And I got this order, and it was my first big order, and it was a dragon cake.
Ooh.
And I was so stoked. They wanted gold wings. They wanted a dragon, but they wanted it kitty-like. It was for an autistic son.
Okay.
He was turning 21, I think.
Okay.
And he's never had a birthday party, and he finally had friends.
Aw,
anyway,
fun.
This is very important to learn GPS. Okay?
GPS?
Just make sure you GPS where I live. Or where the I learned a big lesson. So what happened is I, thinking Delaware, Ohio, they thought I lived in Delaware, the state.
The state.
And they found me somehow, and they didn't realize it said Ohio. and they ordered.
Oh, no.
And I just finished and I sent a photo and they're like, great, give me the address. And she was so excited. They had this big party. He was so excited for this cake, you know, and being autistic and stuff, you know, I think he was on a higher end of it. So first birthday, technically for him, where he felt comfortable and had friends. And I was like, I felt so honored. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm so excited to see this kid's face. Adult, whatever face. And yeah, she laughed at me. She's like, I can't get there in like 10 hours. And I was like, she's like, where are you at? And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's my address. She's like, what? And I was like, I cried.
No.
I cried so hard. I called her. I FaceTimed her. I'm like, I promise I made the cake. I promise this. She was the sweetest, most patient woman. She was like, I feel so bad for you. I was like, for me? I said, I feel horrible for you, your son. And she showed him the photos and he loved it. He clapped. And I was like, I am so sorry. She still paid for me. She's like, it was my problem. She's like, it was my fault. I found you. And I don't know why I'm on a Delaware, Ohio page, not a Delaware state page. And I was like, and there was another Amanda Sweet Treats in Delaware State that I found out as well.
Oh my gosh.
So she clicked on the wrong one. I know. It was again,
so
you learn.
What'd you do with the cake?
I cut it up and gave it to the whole apartment complex.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, please take it. It was brutal. It was brutal.
That would be a hard
It was brutal.
lesson.
It was a hard lesson. It was an embarrassing lesson. I tried to refund her. She said no.
Yeah.
I tried to I felt horrible. I felt horrible. She was so sweet. Like I feel like I was waiting for I was waiting for something to just come down hard on me. Like, how dare you not do this properly?
You didn't tell us you were in Ohio.
Yes,
you know.
Yes. And she was just so patient and so kind. And she even gave me a tip. And I'm like, I can't accept this. She's like, yes, you can. And I think it's because she saw what I did and like how nice it was. And like I was very in contact with her and she knew I was newer. And that's where I'm like, I mean, it was very cheap. I gave it to her very cheap. I just charged basically what I needed for material. But still I felt so bad. So again, the first 2 years is trial and error. and I learned. And I to this day am like, Delaware, Ohio. Yeah. Hard lesson to learn. And she sent a picture with him with thumbs up and I'm like, so
oh my gosh,
it was brutal.
what a hard experience.
That was a rough one, but I'm very gracious that I had such a kind customer during that time.
Yeah, because it could have gone one or two ways.
Yes, and I really didn't have the money to give that back to her because I spent it on materials,
right? Nothing
else. So, but I was willing to figure it out. I was like, I will get your money back.
Yeah,
I don't know how to ship, but I will try.
Yeah.
But she was the to this date. It just like I try to keep that in the back of my head of like, no matter what happens in a situation, you can like be kind about it or you could really be cruel. Like accidents happen, you know? So she really taught me a lesson in that moment. But yeah, that was
just to give yourself grace and
because I got another story and I had to give grace to my husband. Woo!
Did he eat
Let me
more
tell you,
Oreos?
but it works out. No. So my appendix ruptured.
Oh gosh.
And I was sitting down healing from surgery and I was like, okay, I'm going to walk you through how to bake this because I couldn't get up and I'm not going to decline an order. I'm going to get it done. When I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And it was, I don't know if I should say this, they might watch it, but it taught me that I don't need butter in my cakes.
Oh, okay.
So this is what made me do that. And I realized, wow, like you really could substitute with a better option. So it was a big cake though. Big cake. I had to fix it. It was fine, but it came out great. But
it was a big cake. It was fine, but it turned out great. It
did turn out great. They were very happy with it and everything. But it was also a lesson in the 2 years of learning. And he helped me. He mixed it. The batter was a little funky because I did go. I like to taste as I go. And I'm like, what's off with this? I'm like, maybe it's because he did a triple batch. Like, what's going on? And that's okay. He poured it. I shook it. Got the bubbles out. We baked it. It came out, and I'm like, why does it look so different? I'm like, maybe it's the pain meds. Like, I really thought it was because I just had a surgery. I was on pain medication. Like, maybe I'm a little off.
A little loopy.
Yeah, something. And then a day later, they pick up the cake in the morning, and I go to heat my coffee up, open it up, 12 sticks of butter. He left all the butter out of the cake.
How much butter was supposed to go in the cake?
12 sticks of butter.
Oh my gosh.
It was a big cake.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, what's this? What is this, Nick? He's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put butter in the cake. And I was like,
and butter's main ingredient for cakes is moisture.
No, it's the fat content. You have to have like a fat to tie it in and bring the batter together.
Okay.
It does help with moisture as well, and the flavor and the texture. Yeah. And I was like the most nervous wreck. Thank God. I won't say what cake it is so that no one knows what it is. But thank God when I reached out, they were like, we didn't even get to try it. The kids ate it all. And I was like, oh, hallelujah. I was like, she's like, they loved it. It was perfect. I'm like, praise God.
Oh my gosh.
That the kids ate this, because I know the adults would have known something was a little off with that texture. Wonky. But they loved it, and they ate all of it. And I was like, okay. And then from then on, I was like, never again. I can't look at butter the same. I got to find something else. I can't do it.
And then you ended up
I found, something else. Yep, I finicked around, and I found something that works for me, and I won't go back, and I love it.
There you go.
And it makes my cakes like dense rather than, I don't know, fluffy, I guess.
So dense, like more thick?
More hearty.
More hearty.
There
okay.
You go. More
Back
hearty.
To that hearty word.
Yes.
Very
I don't like
hearty.
to use the word moist.
Moist.
So, I can't believe I said that in a microphone.
Are your cakes moist or
They
hearty?
are, though. They really are. But yeah, it was again, you learn a lot in the first 2 years. And that's why your prices are very low in the first 2 years.
So you still don't use butter?
I do not use butter except for my buttercream.
Okay.
Yep. In my cakes, no.
And buttercream. Sorry. Buttercream is that a filling, or is that what you?
That's the icing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like I would really like buttercream.
I think you would too. I think I just didn't want to make it today.
That's fine. We're all lazy sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel it. I was like, I don't know how I pulled out making 2 things in 2 hours today.
That's made today?
Yeah, today.
You go, girl.
That's why they're a little warm.
All right.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, tell another story. Why go grab a fork?
Oh, what do I say? How about I tell them what it is, or do you want me to wait? Yeah. Well, I'll wait till you hear so you know what it is. My friend tried it before I came, so she said it was decent.
She said it was good. Okay.
Which one would you like to try first?
Tell me what they are.
Okay, so I have been experimenting with a vegan option.
She's giving me vegan.
Don't
cake.
knock it till you try it. So this is a
You realize I'm a carnivore.
And then that's why I made you kidding. A chocolate. Yeah. Balance it out.
Okay, so this is the vegan?
This is a lemon blueberry vegan cake with powdered sugar on top.
Wow.
And then the chocolate is just my basic chocolate cake with chocolate ganache on top. And then we had to add the sprinkles because I just had to.
Everything's better with
Honestly,
sprinkles.
It gives me like a cosmic brownie vibe.
Okay, so I'm going to try the vegan first.
Make sure you get blueberries in there.
Because I really want to try that crust.
Oh, so try without the crust, then with the crust. So you get the 2 textures.
Okay.
So because it kind of caramelizes on the edge.
Okay. Because
of the lemon and the acidic and stuff.
Okay.
We'll see how this goes. I'll try it too. Same one or no? I'm going to do it.
Well, that's very good.
Not bad for a vegan cake.
That's holy like
like I said, I had to perfect that one. And I actually what inspired this is I do a pound workout class, and every time we go to events, this one friend of mine, she can't eat a lot of stuff because of her diet and what she does. And I always feel bad because I'm like, man, what can I make that everyone will like, but she can also eat?
That's seriously addicting.
Yeah, it's delicious. And it's not too sweet. I know. I perfected it.
Amanda.
I know. It's not bad. That's why I brought it. I know everybody's like, ugh, vegan, but it's not bad.
You know, Nick is a very lucky man.
Thanks.
Because this is incredible.
Yeah, my kids love it too.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. It's actually not bad for you either. So I do use oat milk.
It's not thick. Mm-hmm. It's hearty.
It's hearty.
It's hearty.
Yes. Those are my vibe. That's
oh
my
my
vibe.
gosh, that is really good.
Yes. I'm glad you like it.
How long does it take to make that?
I did this in 2 hours. That's why it's not decorated. It's just kind of done. But this one...
Like this, like that, like that. Okay.
So this one, I actually probably would not decorate. I think it would take away from it.
Okay.
So I would just actually make it as a cake and then offer it with like the powdered sugar on top. I feel like it would just take away from it. And then also my buttercream can't go on it because it's vegan. So... And then I can't do ganache. So I'm like, powdered sugar gives it a little...
So if it wasn't vegan, would you add the buttercream?
No,
or
I don't like buttercream. So I would eat it as is. That's why I perfected it this way.
Oh my gosh, that is so good.
It's good, isn't it? And the blueberries are perfect.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel heavy.
No.
So like, I feel like I can eat that entire piece and still feel fine. I'm not going to be like...
Yes.
You know how like when you eat mashed potatoes, sometimes you don't feel the effect until 10 minutes later. That is, it's hearty, but it's super light.
Yeah,
and,
isn't
like,
that weird?
Light in texture.
It's confusing.
Yeah, it's hitting everything right now. Oh my gosh, that's good.
Yeah, it's good. That's why I gave you 2 pieces.
And the blueberries are good too.
Yeah, they're fresh.
Okay.
I try to use all fresh ingredients.
Okay.
I don't like frozen. I can actually taste when people freeze things, and I can't stand it. I've ordered from a baker a few times, and I can taste when they freeze the cake stuff.
Okay.
And it ruins it for me. So I'm like, if I want to eat it, why would I make others?
Yeah, the blueberries are spot on.
Yeah, they're delicious.
This is very good.
Yeah, good.
Like, this is addictingly good.
The only thing I think I would add is if someone likes a lot more lemon, I would put a lemon curd on top. That was it.
So what am I can only taste the blueberry.
So there's lemon in it, lemon juice in it.
Okay.
As the aesthetic part. Again, the only thing I would add into it is putting lemon curd on top if someone wants more lemon.
What's curd? Is it like flakes?
No, it's like it's kind of like a pie, like a lemon pie. It's kind of like that filling, but it's a curd. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. All right.
It's hard to explain.
All right. So now we're going to go into the non-vegan cake.
Cleanse your palate.
All right. I will.
So this is just my basic chocolate cake with, I call it my triple chocolate. Honestly, I'm going for more of my Matilda chocolate. And it's not pretty because I just took a chunk out of what I made for the kids as well.
Listen, the vegan blew me away, so this is non-vegan. I might kick the table over.
So this is the chocolate cake with chocolate chips in it and then the chocolate ganache on top.
Okay.
And then I do put coffee in my chocolate cakes. So it just makes a more rich flavor.
Okay.
So.
Oh, that went in very nicely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious. Oh, okay. So I can rep my own stuff. And it's a semi-sweet glaze, not a dark chocolate one.
I'm definitely getting that sweet.
Yeah. Too chocolatey?
This isn't fair. This isn't fair. It's very good. And again, it doesn't feel heavy. Mm-hmm. The texture is not heavy. Mm-hmm. It's very light, very proportionate.
But it's not like airy. I don't know how to explain it. It is, but it's like there's still hearty to it.
Yeah.
So this is actually more of one of my more airier cakes. My vanilla cakes tend to be more dense.
Okay.
So, and I do that because I like to pair those with fillings.
Okay.
So they're not as sweet.
You don't get any more. I'm fine.
I
You just get
have
the
a whole
one bite
pan at
and then
home,
you're done.
so, unless my kids ate it all. So, yeah.
It dissolves really nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. What's really good is like putting nuts on top of the chocolate. Mm-hmm. That'd be really good if you want more of that vibe. I was going to bring you my pumpkin brownie one, but this is what I could pull out of the hat quicker. So
kudos to the baker. Very delicious. And I'm not saying that just to say it. I really am blown away by
I
the
really
vegan.
do love critique back.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't have it.
Just do better. You know,
I
there's my
know.
critique.
Just do better.
This sucks. No.
I know. I know.
No, that was amazingly good.
Yeah, the chocolate's rich.
I didn't think it was that rich, but I could definitely taste the sweet.
Mm-hmm.
The sweet of it, which was a nice little kick.
Yeah, so I really like to add coffee to mine because I think it makes the chocolate richer.
Okay.
That's why I do it. But sometimes if it's for a kid, I don't.
Very good. Both very light in texture. Mm-hmm. Not crazy thick, crazy dense, but just hearty. It's like the perfect blend. Yeah, the lemon.
I really actually like the other cake with a nice hot cup of espresso coffee.
Okay.
It's like a really good. It's
the
not
vegan.
Yeah.
The blueberry.
It's just I don't know why. It feels more like pastry, but not in a sense with the flavor combination.
Yeah.
But I've not found a vegan cake that I like, and that's the first one I've made that I'm like, okay, I could do this.
Well, you're on to something with that one.
Yeah.
Because even the crust was amazing.
Yeah, it's a little crisp, so you
brown,
get that. Yeah.
I think what really shocked me, again, like the perfect texture.
I'm
like the
really
hearty
that's
to
good. That's
airy
good.
ratio. Like I think it was
only
a
few have tried that, so I really made that because I really needed feedback on it.
Dude,
so
it's good.
Yeah, my friend, I brought her one at an event, and she's vegan, and she's like, "Can I eat this?" I was like, "I made it because it's vegan. Tell me what you really think." And I cut up some pieces there, and I got really good feedback. So I was like, "It's not just in my head." So
that's really good.
Yeah.
So to make it vegan, you don't add any butter.
Nope.
Milk.
Nope.
No
no egg.
Products.
No egg. No dairy. Nothing.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You've made a cake for my nephew before.
Yes, a suitcase cake.
Yeah.
No, a few cakes. A Mustang.
Was that what it was?
I don't know. I've made two.
The first one, I think, because he can't have any dairy. Did you make a dairy cake?
I don't remember.
Maybe my sister did.
I've made so many. I have made 2 cakes, I think, for her.
Okay.
I know I made a suitcase one, and I actually messed up again learning, and I thought I made the right size, and I didn't, but she was very nice.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's how we met. And then I made I think a car cake for her.
All right.
Which was pretty cool.
The vegan. Was that? Am I wanting to call it a pie just because of the way you cut it?
I just cut it like that, but
so it's actually cake though.
It's cake.
It's cake.
It's cake.
Vegan cake, y'all, is pretty freaking good, and I would have never guessed that it would be. I actually favor the vegan cake over the chocolate.
Yeah, the chocolate's basic, but everybody likes chocolate.
Yeah.
So, but it's not. I feel like it's not basic. I feel like it is, but it isn't. Like for me, it's basic, but compared to others, I feel like it's still. Maybe that's like tooting my own horn, but I still feel like the chocolate's better than most other chocolate cakes I've tried. Mm-hmm. But it's just still my basic chocolate cake.
I mean, both were extraordinarily good.
Yeah, it's just I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad it wasn't like you needed a trash can.
Spit up. You know, I knew that wasn't going to happen. I've seen enough of your work and have eaten a few of your cakes, so.
But but you have to. I feel like you need to make something that looks beautiful and tastes beautiful. I feel like you start enjoying a cake by the visual first. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people don't get that because you can see it's pretty and then you bite into it and be like, whoa, what just happened?
This ain't pretty.
This ain't matching. This is not matching what I'm looking at. What's happening?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fun. But like I said, I just enjoy it. And I think you can tell the difference between someone who like enjoys it and someone who just doesn't. I don't know. I feel like it's just how it is.
Well, you got firsthand witness of my facial expression eating the vegan.
I love it.
And the chocolate.
And it's on video, so I could just go back and rewind it. Like he loved it.
It was good.
Yeah, that's why I gave you.
I'm honestly going to be talking about the vegan cake for a while.
Perfect.
To people. Like,
great.
I'll be like, have you ever tried vegan cake before?
Yeah.
Like, reach out to Amanda, you know.
Yeah, I love that. It's definitely, I'd sell it more basic, but I think like it gets about 8 slices out of it. Just make a normal.
I'm curious to know, because again, I didn't get maybe I did get like a hint of lemon in there, but I'm curious, if you did like the curds or if you did
so
shavings or
when
something.
I would make it, I would be like, do you like lemon or do you like it more as an
Oh,
aftertaste? Does that make sense? Because again, I customize it. I can, and I know I can customize that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what you preferred. So I just did like the basic.
That's preferred. That's good.
But I could offer a lemon curd.
That's good.
I believe, or some type of lemon drizzle or something on it.
When people ask for when they're breaking down the specifics, do you upcharge for anything they add to it? Like say if they wanted the lemon on there, that'd be an upcharge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So this would be like the basic, and then if they want more, like something else added to it, I would definitely have to upcharge because of I have to add in the ingredients cost. A lot of people don't think about, like, you don't just add in the material and ingredients. You have to add in like gloves. You have to add in like electricity you use.
Oh yeah.
You have to add in, like, I feel like people don't realize, like, I'm spending hours with an oven.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
Like,
that right there is like $7 an hour,
Basically, I'm like, have you looked at eggs and butter and flour and sugar and like, do you know the baking cost for me is like tripled because that's what they want to charge up more. So
yeah, and it's custom too.
Yeah, and that's why I really want to get back into my videos, is to show like, hey, like, this is why I'm giving you this quote. Like, it's a lot of work. And I feel like I need to get back into it. I'm trying. I think I did one video and it was like where I did it attached to my chest, I guess, to the or like my neck, to where like I could just do my hands and it not be in my like aftermath thought type of vibe. And a few people liked it, but I'm also like, am I doing it right? Like, I don't know. I'm not. Just be graceful if you check out my TikTok. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I promise. I'm a very big amateur and my focus is just decorate. Like, but just trying to, like, it did start out with just showing like, this is why I'm charging. Cause I got a lot. I mean, you get a lot of like people who they'll say a lot of things when they're not in front of your face.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. And that was happening. And I was really second guessing, like, am I charging too much? Like, because I didn't go to school or, and then I videotaped myself and I'm like, no, this is a lot of work. Yeah. I'm like, I think I'm actually undercharging here. So I did it to also like clarify for myself.
Yeah.
And be like, no, I think I'm not going to be bullied.
Yeah.
Like I deserve that.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm doing good.
And everybody's value of time is different. And it's so easy. People want to watch other people fail. Like, there's a society in that I just absolutely cannot stand. If they don't have what you have, they're going to hate you for it. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, go get a life.
Yeah, and I've dealt with that. I think I mentioned prior. We won't go in details, but I've dealt with it. And it was very confusing because I'm actually a baker who I refer out to other bakers. I like to help other bakers. Like, if I'm full, I refer them out to like 3 other bakers who I'm like, hey, they do really good like artistry work. And if I tasted their work, I'm like, this flavor I've tasted, it was good. Like, I will give that. I can't like justify for all of it. Yeah. But like, I mean, I try to support others. I feel like there's a lot of people in the world. It's okay. Like, it's okay to share. Like, can't have everyone.
Right.
I don't know. I just am not naturally like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's still popular, but there was at one point a few years ago, like when hashtags were big, it was like community over competition. So like the reference was like, we're building community here. You can't take and have everything. Yeah. And, yeah, it was like, a good refer other people. Like, if you're booked already, refer someone else. And I do the same thing with weddings. Like, if I'm booked, hey, sorry, I'm booked, but here's 3 links to 3 other videographers for you to use. And
and then also, like, if you get a customer, just on like if someone else is trying to make a business out, like, one reason I have no brick and mortar is because I like to vet my customers. And I like to do that sometimes because there's some people who are just unrealistic, and like, I can't break my back to please everyone. Right. And it's nothing against them. It's just, if you're not in the industry, you don't understand what I'm doing. I just had a friend recently who made cakes for her kids, and she's like, I have a whole new appreciation for you. She was like, I don't know what I did. They didn't taste good. They didn't look good. And I worked really hard on them. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of people just don't get it until you try it.
Yeah.
And sometimes like you'll get a customer who like, if I'm giving a quote, I had to finally put a timeline on my quotes because I'm like, I was like doing like 3 weeks out of just like repeat answers every day and just changing and changing. And it was like they couldn't make up their mind. And it was to the point where I was missing out on other opportunities because I try to go down the line. Like they reached out first for that date. Let me give them
first come, first serve.
So I started to get, again, you learn as you do this. I'm in this now since I started in 2018, technically in Ohio. So I don't even know how many years that is. How many years is that? Like 7?
5, 6?
5, 7? Wait, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait. I don't know. Was that 6? 6 years? 7. So 7 years.
We're really good at math.
We're just confused because the cake was so good. Our mind is just everywhere. But yeah, I've done it for several years. I can say that now. That's crazy how that goes. And you just learn. You learn so much. You have embarrassing moments. You have very humbling moments, and you have very like, wow, that really sucked, but that actually bettered my business, you know, like, it's just crazy how the journey is something. And I just know I want to have a business like that is stable in a sense of a brick and mortar, but I don't want to have like a second marriage to it.
Yeah.
My grandma is 83, I believe, and she still runs her business. And I've seen how it controls her life. It's nothing against her. And she is a power woman. And I look up to her like no other. But I can also see where she has to tiptoe around what she wants to do because she has responsibility for a business. And I'm just not there yet. I want my kids to have me and all of me.
Yeah.
And I want to give that to them. And, yeah, it's just I'm really trusting God, and it's been very humbling because I want to do something else, but it's also like, it's not time, settle down. And I'm like, but I can. and then it's another slap of, it's not time, settle down.
Yeah.
So I just do very like, I just keep my name out there, and I'm doing, again, like I get 1 or 2 orders, sometimes 3, depending if it's a smaller few orders.
Yeah.
But I know my time frame now. That's another thing I learned. Like I know I can pipe this cake now in an hour rather than it taking.
Well, that comes with experience.
Holy
too.
moly.
Like,
one cake that I looked at and I was like, ugh, why did I post that? I was so proud of that.
Yeah.
And then I look at it and I'm like, oh, that took me so long, and I could get that done in an hour now.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, like paying for skill set. Like I just feel like I really.
Well, I read it. A psychiatrist or psychology platform, she was talking about how in order for someone to literally and really be a professional and have gone through pretty much every situation takes about 10,000 hours.
Oh, I've hit that mark.
Yeah. But that's paid for skilled experience though, right? And I thought that was interesting because it's like, man, it made me think like, what could I go after that I would enjoy for 10,000 hours and see what happens. But like, and then I started thinking, oh, like filming, like doing in the weddings, like being a part of that industry. And it's like, okay, I definitely have over 10,000 hours in that. So, but again, that qualification of that skilled talent, that skilled mindset, you know, which helps navigate not only your brand, but pricing and structure and time it takes to bake one cake now, maybe an hour, and years ago it was like a 3 or 4 hour ordeal, you know?
Yeah. And a lot of the times back then I lost out on a lot of money because I would have to redo stuff because I was learning, or I wasn't happy with how that tasted, or I was figuring out my recipes. You know, and I've had actually other bakers reach out who are like, do you mind giving me this recipe or a recipe? And I'm like, I am so sorry, but I can't. Like, that's part of making a business. Like, you have to find your own niche, you know? Like, I can look up a recipe and then I'll bake it and then
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like that. So then I'll tweak it and I'll make it my own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love to do. I like to, and that's where I feel like you have to have a palate for it. Like
Yeah.
you really do. And then some people aren't going to like my cakes because that's just not how everybody has taste buds. They're all
Yeah.
different, you know? And that's it. Like I've had people be like, I didn't really like that. And I'm like, okay, thanks for the feedback.
Yeah.
But personally, like I really enjoy this flavor and I want to put out a product I enjoy. But if you prefer that flavor, I recommend this baker because that's kind of like how they make their cakes.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm not everyone's cup of tea.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. But, you know, just don't cut down other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
Just don't like
Well, I feel like a lot of people are going to love the blueberry vegan. I'm just saying. If you know me, you know I'm not a vegan guy, but that was really
I know
freaking
it scared
good.
you. I knew it would scare you. Yeah.
It's really freaking good. I'm telling you, I'm going to talk about that thing for weeks.
Yeah, it's very it's unexpected.
It is.
It is.
I would have if you would have told me or not told me that it was vegan, I would have never known.
Really, I feel like I have to because the textures are normally different than what people expect. So
You should.
Yeah.
What would have been funny is if you would have told me after.
I'd be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a win. I really like that cake. I actually enjoy it, and that's something that I can whip up pretty quick because I've done enough trials on it that I'm like, okay, all right, let me just put this together.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer more lemon as well.
Okay.
But again, it just depends on how many blueberries you get in your slice as well.
I'm glad you
So-
mentioned make sure you get a good blueberry
Yeah.
stab in the first bite because that was
That's the
like the
kicker.
wow factor,
Yeah.
you know,
Ooh.
getting a good blueberry.
Yeah, and
in
it's not a
there.
weird texture.
No, not at all.
So sometimes you can get them where they're really soggy.
I was honestly
Yeah.
expecting it to be crumbly,
Oh yeah,
like break
not-
apart
yep.
really easy.
and
Nope.
not very like I hate moist, but it is moist.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very delicious.
But it's also got a good height, so you get a lot of the batter in it.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to skimp on my cake height and
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, that's another reason that I end up really just paying out more money than I should. But I just one day I'll get there,
Yeah.
and the business ideas I have, they'll go somewhere. And
Yeah.
I think the reason God's telling me not yet is because when I do go there, I'm not going to know how to keep up with it.
Yeah.
I think. And that's not like to be cocky or anything. That's like, I just really feel like that's what's going to happen.
There's momentum building.
I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if I stay small right now and just keep building that good clientele, you know, it's just going to help in the future.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
yeah, I think I'll go places, but right now we're done having kids. So I know this is my last one.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, okay, it's bittersweet, but it's also like I can put myself first soon
Yeah.
in a sense. And I don't do that. And I'm okay with that because that's where I'm at right now. But I feel like I could go pretty far with things.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Let me know when the grand opening is. I will be the first one to buy a ticket.
Well, yeah, it'll be fun. It's not going to be, I actually don't think I'm going to have a brick and mortar of my own at first. I think I'm going to do that food truck idea I've got.
Hey, either one.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. The food truck's going to be fun. What I have planned,
That's cool.
very unique.
That's
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I think it'll be good. I think it's
I'm sure it'll be
confusing. I'm
good.
I'm an artist,
Yeah.
not a paperwork person.
Right.
I'm also dyslexic, so it's very intimidating to read all these paperworks. Buying a house has been very interesting because I'm like, what is happening? What am I reading? What?
Yeah.
Like, but it's gonna go somewhere, and I feel like the reason I've declined investors is because I think God gave me that as a not like, hey, do this, but as like, hey, someone knows this is going to go somewhere and give me that little boost of like, don't give up type of thing. Because as a mom, speaking of Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to all you ladies yesterday.
That was yesterday.
You tend to just like put everything on the back burner or you have to sacrifice raising your kids to better your career. So it's like one or the other. You can't really do both. And that's a tough position to be in.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't ever second guess it. It's just like natural to do that. But there is a time whenever they start getting independent, and then you start realizing, like, wait a minute,
I can do something for me,
or more or less, like, man, I've lost out on a lot of years,
yeah,
and I gotta rebuild now or restart, or what do I do? And that's where, like, I'm keeping it small right now, but I'm slowly building. So when that moment happens, I can go full force and I could be like, let's go. Like, even my daughters, like, in part of homeschooling, they're learning measurements. They're learning fractions through it. They're learning the business part of it, you know, and they're going to probably work for me eventually, you know, and really learn the hustle of it and really learn how to deal with clients and customers, and if they want to. But yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good to not also give up on something because it's hard. I think there's been many times where I should have just been like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Many times, especially between COVID, inflations, appendix ruptured, pregnancies.
Just a few
COVID,
life things, you know.
Almost dying through childbirth, you know, losses in family. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I filling a quote out? Actually, fun fact, funny story.
Yeah.
After my appendix ruptured. Oh gosh. I'm so happy I'm not giving specific orders because this would be bad. My friends know the struggle of this, especially my friend Camille. She had to help me a few times. So it was right when COVID happened and they closed down all hospitals. You weren't allowed to come in unless it was like absolute emergency. Well, I walked in because I thought TMI, it was gas. No, my appendix ruptured.
Oh, gosh.
And they were like, we got to go to surgery now. And I was like, yeah, I didn't even want to go in. I didn't want to go in. And my husband dragged me in. And he was like, Amanda, you don't complain. I have a very high tolerance. He's like, you don't complain.
Like tolerance to pain?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Like, I had all my kids without epidurals, like all that stuff. Yeah. So,
dang.
Yeah. So he was like, you don't complain. You've been nagging about this. You should go in. Well, we had a nurse next door because I was like, I'm not going in. And he's like, well, let's go ask the nurse next door. Well, she came over because we were living in apartments at the time. Okay. She came over. She's like, that doesn't sound like gas. Something's going on. And I was like, I'm fine. I don't have time for this. Like, I have orders. I have children. I have things to do. I cannot be sick.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think you should go in. And again, they just closed down the world.
Yeah.
They like literally like that week.
Okay.
And I was like, I am not going in where there is sickness. Okay. I'm not dying.
Yeah.
And then we get to like dropping my kids off. And then I was like, okay, yeah, it's getting a little uncomfortable. I'm like, something's going on. But, you know, I've had, you know, bad like gas pain before after kids and stuff. I'm like, it's fine. Women's bodies are weird, you know? So I get in there and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel good. I'm a little antsy. Like, I'm like just moving around, you know? Like, you know how you get pain? You're just like, if I shift, it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if I go here, it'll be fine.
Every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like, okay, they're not rushing or anything, right? And they're like, well, your husband can't stay. So they send him away because you can't have anybody. So they do my blood pressure. They're like, well, your blood pressure's a little high, which indicates high pain. And I'm like, yeah, I told you I'm a little uncomfortable. They're making me come in here. No fever, no nothing like that. And this does round out to my business, I promise. So I get in there and they're like, man, let's give you, what is this? I don't know what it is, but they took my blood and my white cell count came back very high. And they were like, are you sure you're good? And I'm like, that's why I'm here. Like, clearly I'm in pain. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And they were like bouncing around maybe a kidney stone, something like that. Nope, wasn't that. And they were like, your white blood cell is very, very high. Like, we need to get you something. So they put me in this machine where it makes you, like, they put something in your IV. And I don't know what it was, but made you feel like you pee, but you're not peeing.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but it's like all warm through your body and it rushes through.
I don't like that.
It was uncomfortable. And because they needed answers quickly because of how high my white blood cell was. And then I get back in there and they're like, hey, so within 10 minutes, hey, so, yeah, you need to drink this shot, and call your family. You're going into surgery. And I'm like, no. I was like, that's not happening. I was like, I don't know what you think's going on.
Oh,
and they're
my
like
gosh.
wheeling me as they're telling me this because I didn't realize it was actually ruptured. So I didn't realize it was already ruptured. They didn't tell me that until after.
I gotcha.
They were like, hey, you've got appendicitis. You got to go. And I was like, I got to call people. They're like, no, you got to go.
Yeah.
And they're making me take this shot for surgery so it helps digest my food. And they're like putting IVs in while they're wheeling me down. And I'm just like, I got to charge my phone. I've got to call my family. And then I call, I'm like, I guess I'm going in surgery. I don't know what's happening.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, I get out of surgery. I'm on some medication, okay? And they're monitoring me. And all the nurses are hanging out with me because they have no patients. I was the only patient on the floor.
Wow.
So they were like, it's a little creepy. So can we hang out with you? So they like were hanging out with me. Again, I'm on some pain meds. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they normally don't give your phone to you when you're on some strong pain meds. But when you don't have family and no one can visit you and they knew I had kids, they gave me my phone. Well, little old me, who's a little business person, was just going on giving quotes out.
Oh my gosh.
I booked so many orders, I don't even remember. And then for a year, I was getting text, hey, where's the location for pickup tomorrow? And I'm like, what? And I wasn't just booking, I was collecting money.
Oh my gosh.
And then buying stuff. So when I came around too, I never saw the money because I was spending it.
Oh my gosh.
And I was for a year. I was like living in anxiety of is it this weekend? Is there something going to happen? Do I have a cake order? What's going to happen? For a year, I had to live on edge like that.
That's wild.
Including the one that my husband left the butter out.
That is wild. Because you were healing.
I was healing.
Oh my gosh.
And I had about 14 orders like that. I counted up and I was like, I don't know what I was doing. Because they kept me for a few days because they had to make sure I didn't have any organ issues. So I was working my butt off for those for those days.
Oh my gosh.
Just booking orders and then buying Amazon and booking orders and buying Amazon.
Oh,
and
man.
You
made it.
Again, I won't say what orders they were, but I made it work. And let me tell you, I made no money on any of those orders because I was like, $30, sure. And it should have been like $140 cake.
Oh my
and I'm like,
gosh.
No wonder I had so many orders. It just happened to be, I don't know, first of all, how these people didn't think I was on something.
That's wild.
But hey, it was a moment. So like I said, you go through a lot when you're a business owner and you're a one-woman show. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself. I've done all of them except for one cake, and that was when I was in the hospital with surgery. And I did contact a woman before, another baker. She's amazing, and I had all the cakes prepped and ready to go. She just had to stack it and deliver it, and she did that for me. And I was so grateful for her. And I was like, literally, it's life or death right now. And this is someone's wedding cake. Can you please help me out?
Yeah.
And I still managed to have it get there. And I paid her for it and everything. And I'm just like, somehow I was getting surgery and still had a cake delivered and completed.
That's insane.
So I take it very serious to make sure, literally I can't get it done.
Yeah.
That I make sure I follow through with my word. So
that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's good to know for the viewers out there. Well, go ahead and give a shout out. How do people find you?
Yes.
Socials, or if you have a website.
Yes. So I am on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can find me by doing Amanda's Cakery on all of those, or you can put the @ sign in the search bar and put Sweets by Amanda 93 on every platform, and it will pull me up. And it's a pink logo that says Amanda's Cakery. So yeah, but check out TikTok, and I'll promise I'll get back on there.
Yeah, you better.
I'm working on it. Why don't you come film a few cakes for me?
I'm down. Actually, I told you that I would do that.
I just don't have money to pay you.
No,
I could pay you.
We'll work out a deal.
We'll trade.
We'll work out a deal.
I'm all for trading. Take that on. You want to do a hair appointment? I'll trade you. I've done that before. I am a trader. I believe in that. And
That's
I feel like it
funny.
needs to come back. It really does. You want to do some mechanic work? I'll trade you.
That's
okay.
funny.
Let's go.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, be sure to check her out. Order some cakes if you're in the mood. Just randomly. It doesn't have to be a special event or occasion. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Might have done it a time or two in my day. And then also go to, as always, bearsdon'tfly.com. Subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the things. Thank you for coming on the show.
No, thanks for inviting me. I feel
this was great.
Special.
It was fun.
So yeah, thanks. I got out of my comfort zone for it. So whenever you're like, there's video, I'm like, oh, I wore a hat for comfort.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like a blanket.
Yeah, it was good. This was great.